Kia ora no tātou. I've been asked by the organisers to read out the statement from the Māori Party. So the Māori Party, along with the Greens, are the only two political parties that have consistently opposed the TPP. Initially, our key concern was around the secrecy surrounding the negotiations and the lack of consultation with Māori as partners with the Crown under the Tiriti o Waitangi. The Māori Party will not support any free trade agreement that impinges on the treaty rights of Māori. We know there is a treaty exception clause in the TPPA which states that any rights arising from Tiriti o Waitangi are not subject to the dispute settlement provisions of the TPP. However, the exception clauses leaves it up to the government of the day to interpret our treaty rights. Successive governments have failed to uphold Te Tiriti, so we cannot trust the Crown on its own to interpret those rights. The Māori Party is focused on ensuring that the Crown honours its obligations guaranteed to Māori under Te Tiriti o Waitangi. The Māori Party has long campaigned for constitutional change that would properly recognise the treaty partnership between Māori and the Crown. Those proposals include establishing an upper treaty house in Parliament and establishing a parliamentary commissioner for the treaty. The government has failed to date to get informed consent from tangata whenua as required under the United Nations Declaration of Rights for Indigenous People. The encouragement of the Māori Party, the New Zealand government signed this declaration in 2010. The TPPA is a threat to our tino rangatiratanga. It is a threat to national sovereignty. It is a threat to mātauranga Māori, Indigenous knowledge, and it is a threat to our environment. It is time for the country to consider other measures to strengthen the status of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, such as instituting an upper treaty house in Parliament, establishing a parliamentary commissioner for the treaty. On the eve of the anniversary of the signing of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the Māori Party cannot support the TPP in its current form. We are not anti-trade. Our people have been avid traders for centuries, but we are pro-treaty. Kia tū kotahi tātou hei whakamana I Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Kia ora.
Thank you. All right, so between our next speaker, it was Ariana Pare Tūtanga Nui Tamati, part of our action group in Wellington. I'll just give you a quick rundown on what I've heard is the latest in Auckland. We all know the proposed signing is in Auckland. We all know that New Zealand found out that it may be signed at the Sky City because Chile told us, not our government. We know that they still have not told us exactly where it's signed because they're shit scared. And they're scared of us. And so they should be, with their tails between their legs and as they cow. In Auckland, they have blocked off 3 intersections. I don't know exactly which intersections. Southern Motorway has been blocked. The police are trying to divert people and moving. We know that we haven't had reports of public transport being shut down due to a strike. We don't know much about that. I say public transport because we know it's the buses, but we've also heard rumour of the trains as well. A lot of people from Wellington and all over the country have gone to Auckland to help support those actions up there. We decided that not everyone can afford to take the whole day off work. We decided that not everyone can afford to go to Auckland to partake in the main rallies in Auckland, so this is why we continue what we do here. We act local and we will think global. And the latest news that I've got, Kira, my sister, texting me updates, is that a cameraman, and I don't know if he's with the press, I don't know which TV station, he's been knocked over by the police somehow. I imagine this is some type of accident. Yeah, okay. I've got a feeling that the police are on our side, because anybody that looks into this as you all know, as we all know, are on our side. These arguments that we will have coming up in our TP3 councils in the select committee are so easy to win. And I've seen it myself in the presentations I've been involved with. And I can tell you that I've seen red-faced councillors as they argue their points. So believe me, I knew in fact, I'm not even a fan of politics whatsoever, but I was taught right and wrong. And when it comes to right and wrong, we know what that means. We understand in New Zealand what a treaty is. The TPPA will try to ascend, it will attempt to ascend New Zealand's treaty-making legislation process. That is not good. So our next speaker from TPP3 Wellington is Ariana Paretutanga Nui Tamati, and she's going to speak to you about tangata whenua perspective.